Some stories make headlines. Others haunt you. This one does both. Neha Gupta, a respected pediatrician in Oklahoma, now stands at the center of a shocking criminal case. Accused of murdering her own 4-year-old daughter, Aria, and staging the death to look like a tragic drowning. A woman who dedicated her life to saving children now finds herself painted as the person who took one away, her own. At first glance, Neha was everything society admires. Educated, professional, maternal. She graduated from medical school in India in 2012, moved to the U.S., completed her residency, and earned her license to practice in 2019. She worked at Oklahoma Children's Hospital and taught pediatrics at the University of Oklahoma's Health Sciences Center. Her life appeared polished, stable, respectable. But beneath the surface, a storm was brewing. In 2022, Neha filed for divorce from her husband, fellow pediatrician Saurabh Talathai. What followed was described by attorneys as one of the most aggressive, prolonged, and emotionally volatile custody battles they'd seen. Neha accused her ex-husband of domestic abuse and sought sole custody of Aria, but the court didn't buy it. Her restraining order was dismissed. Her request for full custody was denied. And in a devastating blow, she was ordered to pay her ex over $79,000 in legal fees. Just weeks before the tragedy, she lost her job at the hospital. Her life was unraveling, personally, financially, and professionally. And then came the trip. On June 25, 2025, Neha flew with Aria from Oklahoma to El Portal, Florida, just north of Miami. She rented a $1.5 million Airbnb, 2,200 square feet, 3 bedrooms, and a large pool. Neha didn't know how to swim. Neither did her daughter. And yet, she chose a house with a sliding glass door in the master bedroom that opened directly onto a pool deck. 2 days later, at 3:41 a.m. on June 27th, Neha called 911. Her daughter, she said, was unresponsive in the pool. First responders found Aria at the bottom of the deep end. They pulled her out and rushed her to the hospital, where she was pronounced dead at 4:28 a.m. Neha told police she and Aria had gone jet skiing that afternoon, eaten dinner around 9 p.m., then climbed into bed together around 12:30 a.m. Sometime around 3:20 a.m. She awoke to a sound. Aria was gone. The sliding door was open. Neha said she ran outside and saw her daughter in the pool. But since she couldn't swim, she tried helplessly to rescue her for 10 minutes before calling for help. It sounded heartbreaking, tragic. But what came next changed everything. On June 29th, an autopsy revealed Aria had no water in her lungs or stomach. She had not drowned. Her mouth showed cuts and bruises inconsistent with CPR but consistent with being smothered. And her stomach was empty, contradicting Neha's claim that she ate dinner hours earlier. Simply put, Aria was already dead when she entered the pool. The very next day, an arrest warrant was issued. Neha Gupta was charged with first-degree murder, accused of killing her daughter and attempting to cover it up by faking a drowning in a vacation home thousands of miles from home. She was arrested on July 1st in Edmond, Oklahoma. According to authorities, the entire trip was planned, a calculated setup for a murder that would look like an accident. Neha's attorneys have fiercely denied the charges. They call them absurd, baseless. They say Neha is a grieving mother, not a murderer, and that she cooperated fully with investigators. Her divorce attorney described her as a devoted and attentive mother, and questioned why authorities rushed to arrest her after only 1 day of investigation. But the evidence paints a much darker picture. At the time of her daughter's death, Neha was facing a crushing series of setbacks. She had lost custody, lost in court, lost financially, lost her job. Her ex-husband had raised concerns about her mental health. A parenting coordinator filed a report just months earlier accusing Neha of creating chaos at Aria's school. And just days before her daughter died, Neha flew across the country without informing her ex-husband and rented a house with a private pool. A house she didn't need, for a trip that made no sense. Surveillance video showed only Neha and Aria ever entered the property. Neha said Aria had eaten dinner, but her stomach was empty. She said the sliding door was locked, but the door was open. And perhaps the most haunting question of all, why would a 4-year-old child wake up in the middle of the night, unlock a sliding door, and wander alone into a pool she couldn't swim in? The prosecution believes this wasn't an accident. It was a lie, plan. And if that's true, the motive might be as devastating as the act itself. When a mother kills her child, psychology classifies it as maternal filicide. There are 5 known motives: accidental, altruistic, psychotic, unwanted child, and revenge. Revenge filicide, experts say, almost always involves a custody battle, and it's the most chilling of them all. In this theory, Neha wasn't just grieving, she was seething, defeated, angry, humiliated. She may have seen Aria not as her daughter, but as a tool to hurt the man she could no longer control. By taking Aria away forever, Neha may have intended to inflict maximum pain on her ex-husband, while staging it all as a tragic accident to escape punishment. But even with her medical training, Neha couldn't account for the autopsy, couldn't hide the bruises, couldn't explain the empty stomach, or the unlocked door, or why she chose that house. And perhaps the most damning detail of all, she claimed she locked the sliding door herself. That means, in her own words, Aria couldn't have left on her own. If this was a lie, it wasn't a smart one. Neha may have wanted to beat the system entirely, not just avoid a murder charge, but any charge. She didn't want to walk away with a manslaughter conviction. She wanted no consequences. And that's what makes the story so haunting. If she did this, she wasn't just trying to end her child's life. She wanted to walk away from it all, untouched. A mother, a doctor, a killer? If Neha is guilty, she is among the coldest kind of criminal. One who spent her life saving children, only to destroy her own. She took her daughter to the beach, rode jet skis, tucked her into bed, knowing every moment it would be the last. And as the sun set on that Florida coastline, it also set on the short, innocent life of Aria Talathai. And if she's innocent, then the world has accused a grieving mother of the unthinkable. Either way, justice must speak louder than emotion. The truth, whatever it is, still waits beneath the surface.